What's up, everyone? Paris Games Week is coming up in just over a month's time, but it's the next big gaming event that we will get to see, and Sony apparently has something special to announce at this event. Now, no one knows what it is, but there's some speculation here and there. Some people are guessing about what it is. The biggest guess that I can see is that it's going to be a new 1TB slim PS4 model, and I'm just like, I don't really think that's a big enough news. Some people are saying it's going to be a price drop. And yeah, well, a price drop sounds plausible. That's something more for the non-PS4 owners. But for all of us who already own one, we don't really benefit from any type of price drops. So I was thinking and also chatting with some friends today on Twitter, and I came up with a few possible scenarios. Some a little far-fetched, I admit, but I'm going to run them by you anyways just to see what you guys think. So one of the more probable guesses is that it's the final details and release date of firmware 3.0. Now, firmware 2.0 launched on October 28th last year, so it falls right around the same time for Paris Games Week this year for, 3.0 to drop. And speaking of 3.0, there was actually a little birdie on Twitter today by the name of Tidux, who is a fairly well-known industry insider. He often has leaks about, early information regarding PS4 firmware updates, as well as certain games and other things like that. But today he mentioned something on Twitter about being able to change your PSN ID with firmware 3.0. So it's probably safe to assume at this point that it's probably going to be possible once 3.0 launches that you're going to be able to change your PSN name. I mean, this guy's usually pretty accurate with his information, and that's what he's kind of hinting at. So that could be one of the big announcements at Paris Games Week, and I'm sure if it's true, people are going to be pretty damn stoked about it. Another plausible guess for a big announcement at Paris Games Week is Gran Turismo 7. We all know it's coming. Most people seem to think that the game is still at least 2 years away. I seem to be a little more optimistic. I think it's going to be out next year as a PlayStation VR title. But either way, a reveal at PGW doesn't sound that far-fetched. Although, it's also something that could be saved for the PlayStation experience out in December. Now moving on to a couple things that are sort of far-fetched, but I thought I would mention them anyway. Now what if, big if, but what if Sony drops a huge bomb at Paris Games Week and says that the PS4 will soon be capable of 4K gaming? And I know, you're all thinking that it can't do it because it's not strong enough. And yes, I agree. However, that little processor unit that comes with the PlayStation VR has me wondering if it has the potential to boost or somehow amplify the power of the PS4 to the point where it can output a 4K signal to a TV. And if you didn't see my video yesterday about the processor unit, you should go check it out so you'll actually know what I'm talking about. Because if you think about it, this device is able to output two 1080p 60 frame per second images simultaneously to two different displays. So theoretically, it's plausible that it could output a single 4K image to just one display. You know what I mean? And again, this is just a theory and I'm just speculating here, but wouldn't it be friggin' nice if this actually happened? I mean, that would be friggin' awesome. Anyways, the last thing is something that sounds far-fetched, but is actually pretty plausible, and we're talking about backwards compatibility with PS2 titles. Now, Sony has said that they have no plans to make the PS4 backwards compatible with PS3, but they have never once mentioned PS1 or PS2. Now, there have actually been some leaks lately regarding the firmware 3.0 beta where people have been playing old PS2 games on their PS4. And some of these beta testers are basically saying that PS2 backwards compatibility is confirmed to be true and that it's going to happen with the release of firmware 3.0. Now, it's unclear whether or not this means we will be able to insert our old PS2 discs into our PS4 and play them, or will we have to download these games off the PlayStation Store. But either way, I think this will be great news for all of those retro gaming fans out there if it actually does end up being true. But the fact that there's actually some evidence to back it up takes this from being, in the far-fetched column and kind of puts it in the plausible column as far as what big announcements we'll hear at Paris Games Week next month. Now, some of these announcements sound just kind of crazy and outlandish, but you also got to remember that Sony is holding a conference on the same day that Microsoft releases their biggest flagship franchise game, Halo 5. And we know how Sony likes to roll. They like to steal the thunder away from Microsoft. So the best way to steal the thunder away from Halo 5 is to drop some huge news or make a big announcement or something like that, because then that's all people are going to be talking about, and Halo will basically be forgotten on its launch day, which would be pretty bad for Microsoft and pretty great for Sony. So that's kind of what it looks like, might happen. But anyways, a lot of this is speculation. There's some little bit of evidence, some credibility to back some of this stuff up, but basically this is all just speculation. So that's it for this video though. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and please let me know in the comments below what you think Sony is going to announce at this event. Do you think I'm close with my guesses? Do you think I'm far off? Do you have a guess of your own? I want to hear about it. Let's talk in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I'm Vile Self. Until next time, villains. Later.